Welcome back to the Sports Locker. Welcome back to Western Beach. We're talking wing foiling. And just before the end of part one, you casually mentioned a junior world champion who uses our shores as a bit of a secret hiding place. Just tell us the story of Xavi Kaur.
Well, Xavi, he lives nearby in Spain, and he came down one day, I think just looking for some area that he could practice, and he saw a few of us wing foilers over here and jumped in the water and thought, well, this place is really good for me to practice my new moves and new tricks and things, especially that he can do those maneuvers away from the prying eyes of his competitors. And
there's a little sanctuary here.
Exactly. In that way, he can come up with new moves, which he does. He's an innovator in the sport, and pull them off over here, or learn how to do them.
Avoid the copycats.
Exactly, and then he pulls off all of these new innovative moves in competition and gets massive results, and we get the benefit.
So he's still a teenager, right?
Yeah, he's
17.
17,
Yeah. When he came here, he was 6. Now he's 17. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you've all met him.
Yeah.
He comes across. Is he like just ultra cool? I mean, but when he first got in the water over here, did you guys know the level he was at? Or
no, I knew he was. I knew he was mega cool already on land, but once I saw him just at sea out there, it was phenomenal. Never seen anything like it.
It was.
So it's like a win-win situation, Stuart. He gets to have his, like I say, his sanctuary, and you guys.
Yeah, and we marvel at his
exactly.
Exactly. I mean, he's on a different level.
Yeah.
You know, obviously he's competing at global world events, and he's on the podium. So you know, it doesn't get much higher.
And do you get the chance to sort of sit down with him on land and discuss and talk?
Definitely.
Tips and advice and all that.
Yeah. He's a super amenable guy. I mean, he'll talk to anybody and everybody. He's very, very level-headed.
Very down to earth. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank, his father, comes down. He's also a keen wing foiler. Not quite as good, but you know, we give Frank a few tips now and again.
We mentioned the e-foils in part one for beginners, the likes of Xavi Kaur, a junior world champion and now third in the world at senior level. Mm-hmm. There's an enormous in-between. So talk to us about that enormous in-between, because behind you there are different size boards, different weights, different size wings, slightly different designs as well. So just break down the sort of the conveyor belt, if you like.
Right. Boards. You start off with large boards. Boards that are over 100 liters in volume. They're wide. They're very easy to use. So when you're beginning, you want a very stable platform so that you can learn to balance on the board and hold the wing correctly. So if you've got a little board that's moving around or sinking around, it's just not going to help you progress quickly. So we start off with the big boards. As the beginner starts to progress onto the foil, we use large foils. Large, easy to use foils that have a low takeoff speed. That means that when the board is up in the air, you've got a very stable foil underneath you that isn't overly fast. So we've also got, as you progress, we've got the medium-sized boards or smaller foils, and lighter equipment as we get better, because the better you get, the more you want to jump up in the air, and you need sort of specialist equipment for that. So the boards get smaller, the foils get a lot more narrow, you could say, and faster, and the wings become smaller too, because you've reached the level where you're good enough to be able to handle the power.
And the wind conditions get higher too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, okay. So it's a skill factor, but also a weight factor, right? So,
Exactly.
So it depends on, so for example, Liam, you're using which board?
I'm using this board over here behind me, which is a 65-liter board.
Right,
Now,
okay.
the way the mathematics are is usually the board you're going to ride is 1 liter to the kilo, right?
Okay.
That's 65 liters, I'm 70, so I'm kind of overdoing it in the sense I can still manage it.
And does the board complain?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Slightly. It likes to sink.
Right. Okay.
But if I've got enough wind, stable wind conditions, I can get going, no problem.
Stuart, which size board are you using?
Somewhat larger,
Okay.
not just because I'm quite a bit heavier, but I'm at a much lower entry level point for the wing foiling. But we have found that because I've been on the e-foil quite a bit, now I'm up on the foil, I'm quite happy to cruise around. So my board is around 120, what's that blue one? 120? I
Which is
started
similar
on
to
this
that
big
one there.
beginner board, which is about 140,
Mhm.
right? And I think next I'm going to try something like a 95. So, and then obviously depending on the wind conditions, we'll determine what sort of size wing
Right.
you've got. So here, when it's light, you want something like a 7 meter, and then now I'm sailing sort of 6 or 5 meter wings.
Is there a competitive edge amongst you? Can I ask who is the best wing foiler?
That guy over
yeah,
there.
the spectator.
El Rapido.
El Rapido se llama. Vale.
So good he hasn't showed up.
That's what it is. Too big time, not for us.
But the beauty down here is it's not about the competition. Everybody is very, very sharing. I mean, Kevin gives so much of his time to all the new guys, bringing people into the sport, encouraging everybody. He does a lot of filming. He
Yeah.
does a lot of talk-throughs and shares those films on the social group. And that's just incredible. You know,
very
he does all of
social
that as a
sport.
voluntary
Right.
thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, solitary whilst you're out there, but social around it, right?
On
Yeah, yeah.
On land,
Just
yeah.
gathering with amongst each other, yeah.
And so that's a good point Stuart mentions, and for anybody watching thinking, yeah, I'd like to give that a go, you guys welcome all comers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to give this sport a go, we're down here. We're down here most of the time because it's windy most of the time. So we're easy to find and we're approachable. Anybody that wants
Very
to...
approachable. Look at this guy, look at this guy.
Yeah,
Just
I try.
definition of approachable.
And there's always kit going around, you know, so you move through the kit quite quickly. You're selling on used
Yes.
kit, so there's a lot of entry-level kit that can be picked up quite cheaply. It doesn't have to be a sport that you're investing huge amounts of money in initially.
And crucially, and most sports break for some period of the year, but you guys,
All year round.
All year round. In fact, it's better during the autumn, the winter and the spring than it is in the summer.
why? Less people.
Apart from having less people, there's more wind during the harsher, months of the winter. So that's where we have a lot more
That's
fun.
it,
Really.
that's
And let's be honest, it's not freezing in the winter in Gibraltar tampoco. I mean,
No.
hay que tener gana to get in the sea
Thicker
during
wetsuits.
just wear a thicker
Yeah,
wetsuit.
thicker wetsuit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
But you would say that.
The water does slip in sometimes.
Yeah.
I try not to wear a wetsuit.
Really?
I hate wearing a wetsuit. I'm like the Michelin man with a wetsuit on, man. So I hold on to the last moment where it's just
Until-
becoming
right.
unbearable and then I put a wetsuit on.
I get Kevin's point about the wetsuit. It does sometimes hinder you. It limits your movement.
Okay.
Whereas in the summer you can go just with your board shorts if you wanted to. So
What does competitive wind foiling look like? And I know it's not competed here on the Rock for now,
For now. yeah.
but internationally, what does it look like? There are different disciplines, aren't there?
Yes. We have racing, slalom racing, course racing. Then we have speed events, freestyle, wave. I mean, there's a wide variety of disciplines.
Which is your favorite? Freestyle is with all the tricks and stuff, presumably.
I would, yeah. Freestyle, unfortunately, I'm starting to get a little bit rusty around the joints and things like that, so I can't pull off the maneuvers that I could in the past.
wave is an interesting discipline too. Isn't that what Xavi does?
No, he's freestyler.
He's freestyle.
Yeah.
You not compete in wave.
What's wave?
Really?
Just getting the biggest waves possible and going downwind with them.
Okay.
Surfing the wave.
Surfing
yeah.
basically, but on the hydrofoil.
Xavi's a pure freestyler. He's,
Oh, yeah,
he's
totally, yeah.
massive jumps and massive rotations and
What a privilege
incredible.
not to be able to just witness that here.
Yeah, it's It's insane. It's phenomenal.
Imagine it's like
When's it, whenever he's next, just send me a WhatsApp whenever you know he's coming down, man. I'd love to see it.
I've got quite a lot of footage of him too doing stuff that is just unbelievable, you know. And when you see that type of quality and that type of level here in Western Beach, all of a sudden, you know, it's like, wow, you know, wow. We don't even need to see it on television. We got it right in front of us, you know.
Yeah.
And it pushes us to improve our level too. In fact, he's inspired us to go bigger, higher, faster, just because we've seen him here, you know, doing it with us.
So is it realistic to hope that maybe this time next year, you certainly have to have more numbers? I mean, what's the predicted? How quickly is this family growing?
Well, at present rates, it could be up to over 100 riders next year. You know, it could actually reach that level.
Wow.
Yeah, the more popular it becomes and the more word of mouth, you know, people start talking about it and seeing it on your program here, and then people come down and they're a lot more interested in. That's
what we love to do on the Sports Soccer Lover. I've been doing this many years, and quite often we have all the core sports time and time again, and every now and then we get to introduce a brand new sport, and those are particularly exciting. So one final message from each of you briefly to the camera, to anyone on the fence perhaps, about wing foiling. Start with you.
Don't think about it. Just get down here and start.
And ask for Kevin.
And ask for me, and start this sport, because it will change your life. I guarantee it. You're going to do something that's just going to set you free out on the ocean. It's going to give you a lot more time to be, you know, to just get healthy and enjoy what you're doing too at the same time, you know. And I just recommend it wholeheartedly.
Liam?
Yep, it's a very liberating sport. It can be done all year round. Just make sure when you pop down there's wind and you're good to go.
Nice one, Stuart.
Yeah, I would say we've got the expertise here, we've got the equipment. Kevin also has access to the electric foil, perfect for no wind days, but also perfect for guys who are trying to get that first step up onto the foil. So pop down anytime.
Good stuff. So there you go, all the infrastructure required. A very warm welcome to the local sports scene, to wing foiling. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Good night.